Well, breaking news this morning, a jury has found Maxwell Anderson guilty of killing and dismembering Sade Robinson today after a days-long trial. The decision comes after a whirlwind of activity yesterday afternoon. Over roughly an hour, the state rested its case. The judge denied a defense motion to dismiss the charge. The defense then rested their case. Jury instructions were read and closing arguments began. Anderson was found guilty of first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, hiding a corpse, and arson in the 2024 death of 19-year-old Robinson. We know a sentencing date was set for August 15th.